Back to Mud Lake Ranch. Today we're filming at Drive Tanks in Uvalde, Texas. We are here for the Gundies. It's the gun awards show that awards basically influencers in the gun industry. And today we're doing sponsor appreciation day. Got to go on a safari, and they're going to be doing tank rides soon. So hopefully I'll be able to get you some footage of that. And you'll get to see range day tomorrow. And I'll link to the actual award show in the description below so that you can watch that. I probably won't film much of that, but you'll get to see a lot of these tanks in operation, some fine firearms from all of the sponsors that are here today. All right, check it out.
So this right here, this is the M4A2 E8 Sherman. The E8 basically means what kind of suspension it had, and this we usually can identify a later war Sherman. So this Sherman is kind of interesting in the fact that the turret actually did see combat. The lower half of this hull was actually specially made to look like this. And you can see the bottom running gear is also from original Sherman. So basically these are two Shermans mated together. So after the war, the lower part of the hull is actually doing logging operations up in the Pacific Northwest, where they would use a lot of old military surplus gear like vehicles and whatnot, towing logs. That's where this came from. And then what a guy did was he basically took all your schematics of an original Sherman and he welded on your armor plates to fit the exact dimensions. And then the Sherman turret has a story in and of itself, in the fact that this turret was on a Sherman which originally landed in Normandy right around, we guess, the 11th or 12th of June 1944. So it wasn't there for the initial D-Day landings, but it was there to go through northern France. The tank was knocked out in November of 1944, we're guessing in the Battle of the Bulge. The turret took a frontal hit from a tank, we're guessing it was a German King Tiger, or it was some kind of 88, because it was the only tank that could actually punch through this front gun mallet. As you can see, the gun mallet, this is also reproduction, it's brand new. As the round went through, it unfortunately killed the loader, and at that point the tank was pretty much out of commission, so the crew got out and they retreated and got another tank. At this point, the tank is, behind enemy lines, so approaching SS troops use it as target practice, and that's where we can see some other combat damage in the shape of these four holes on the side. These four holes are from what we would call a Panzerfaust, which is technically a first generation RPG in the sense that it uses a shape charge warhead. So when the round hits, it basically shoots this hot stream of like molten metal, usually copper, that'll go through. And one of those rounds set off the magazine storage that was inside the tank, and the turret popped off and it landed in a field. And pretty much it was forgotten about until the late 80s and early 90s, at which point someone found it and they're like, hey, this belongs in America. And at that point, it was pretty much just a legal battle who actually owned the tank and if it should be considered a war monument or a grave or whatever. But in the end of the day, we got it. And the turret was mated back with the hull in right around 2009, 2010, and then we got it. So she lives again.
Awesome, thank you. I'm gonna go up there and take a look at those holes that actually go through the turret.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know.
So this here was welded back together when it was put back on.
All right, this is the German Halftrack. So this was essentially like an infantry support vehicle. This is a vehicle that you carry infantry around in, kind of like today's MRAP, if that makes sense. So what it is half tank, half truck. The reason for that is because they wanted a vehicle that could work really well off-road, and really pretty much at the time what they knew that worked off-road was a tracked vehicle. So So as you can see, it has tracks, but the way the German half-track works is super interesting. So both the Americans and the Germans had half-tracks during the war, although they worked entirely differently. So the American half-track, half your power went to your wheels, half your power went to your tracks, whereas with your German half-tracks, all your power is entirely in your tracks. And you can see that it's kind of interesting to operate. So when we take a look inside, the driver has a couple of controls. He has a steering wheel. The steering wheel only controls the wheels at the front. Now, like I said, there's no power going to the wheels, so this is really only for light turns. If you want to make like increased turns, you'd actually use right here. These are what we call track tillers. So you have a left and a right and you have a center. If you want to make a left turn, you pull in the left one. You want to make a right turn, you pull in the right one. You want to come to a complete stop, you just pull them back. But other than that, it drives like a normal manual vehicle. You have a clutch and then you have a brake. Keep in mind the brake pedal is only for the tires, so it's not really going to stop a whole lot. You're really going to rely on this for stopping. And then the little small one is actually your gas pedal. Then you have your high, low, and then your 1 through 4 and then reverse. So, but super easy to drive, but as you can see, not a whole lot of visibility. And if you get shot at, the driver has this armored block that you can drop down, but your visibility is incredibly decreased after that.
Oh yeah, they can see this little slit they can
Tiny
look out
little slit to see out of. But then you'd have usually an MG34 or an MG42 for offensive or defensive capabilities.
All right, let's check out that one.
So this is the Leopard 1A5. This is the last variant of the Leopard 1 series before the Germans went to the Leopard 2 main battle tank. This tank was essentially the first tank that Germany made after World War II. They made it with a lot of the lessons learned during the war. So during the war, a lot of German tanks, super heavy, not really maneuverable, and they are really prone to like malfunction. Whereas this tank built an entirely different kind of level. For instance, the tank, it's built for speed more than armor. So instead of having a lot of armor, this thing is actually pretty light at only 49 tons, but it does pack a giant 800 horsepower Mercedes V10 twin turbo diesel engine. This tank can actually go right around 45 to 50 miles an hour. And then unlike German tanks during World War II, this tank is extraordinarily easy to work on. Your road wheels are not interlinked, so a crew can work on the road wheels and the track really easily. And then the engine and the transmission are actually put together in one central unit that we call the power pack. So if you have an engine problem, you can quite literally take the engine and your transmission out in right around 20 minutes with a well-trained crew. The tank entered service in 1965, and it was usually taken out of service in the early 2000s. However, with the ongoing events in Ukraine, these are actually being brought back online to be sent to Ukraine. So this is a C96 Broomhandle Mauser. This one was made in 1912. This one actually has a cool story. This one served in World War I with the Imperial German Army, and then after World War I, it was sold to the Finnish, where it saw use in the Winter War. And then I had a friend go to Finland in the 80s to buy a T-34 tank, and he bought a crate of these, and this is where I got it from. So, survivor of 2 world wars, and it's
I haven't seen one yet, so
111 years old.
I thought it was tools. Nice.
This is C. How many were in that crate?
I think he bought 12. He bought 12 C96s and a Lottie, like the anti-tank rifle.
Do you know
But you know
for him?
what? It was like, I think it was like $25 per pistol. But this like back in the 80s, like 86 or whatever.
Oh gosh, guns were on abundance.
Yeah.
Surplus in the 80s didn't mean something.
Day 2 of the Gundies. Today is the range day, and all the events will be going on as well. Here we are at the gate of Ox Ranch. That's a pretty cool site. The gate actually opens as you pull up to it automatically. The first day I pulled up to it, I didn't know if I was getting out of the building here, out of the ranch, because it was shut. But once you get close enough, it opens. So pretty neat. This is the way into the range. This road's intended for tanks, but I'm taking my rental car on it. Yesterday, I bottomed out going over this hill coming up here. Hopefully, we don't do that again today. But yeah, if we got a little bit of rain, I think that this wouldn't make it. Right, no scraping that time. Might have spoke too soon.
They banned the account again. That's like stopped mine in 4 years now. So when you say they banned, what does that mean then? Okay. Yeah. Plus, I haven't been to the range in a while because it's freaking winter in Canada.
It's a bolt action gun.
Bolt?
Yep. Steel.
Yeah, no, I was just checking out the safeties and so forth. Yep.
Charge it. Up and back. There you go. I'm doing shit.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Right on.
Press. Good. Mark finger, right middle of the front pad. Press. Perfect. One more time.
It's a heavy boy, but it is one of the softest shooting 9mm pistols I've had the pleasure of shooting. And I am proud to say I own one.
Anyway.
They have a...
Where are we shooting at?
Whatever you want.
It doesn't go back to give us switch. It's just full auto all the time. Oh, nice. So fire is full auto. That's it. But here's the deal. Why would you want to do full auto on a machine gun? You know? Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But we want you to...
I'm going on! Where are you guys at? We cut flat. Drop it.
I was thinking that.
You're like, oh, it's an AR pistol, and then you hear it, and you're like, I want it.
I know them best for AR compliance for New York State. They have non-threaded barrels and things like that. This firearm here was the loudest gun at the range yesterday. Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, so this is our DS15 Typhoon pistol. We offer it in 5.56, 300 blackout, and 9mm. It's based off of our most popular Typhoon rifle. That's sort of our bread and butter. It's built on a billet precision matched upper and lower receiver set with a free float M-lock handguard. It's got ambidextrous controls for your safety selector, your charging handle, and we run QD sling points throughout the firearm. The Typhoon I have with me here today, we don't offer them typically in the Cerakote color. We run them with a Type 3 mil-spec hardcoat anodizing.
Yeah, I heard you guys were joking around about this one being a party favor gun.
Yeah,
just because it is so loud. It is loud in color and loud in sound. An attention-grabbing pattern. This Cerakote, who did the Cerakote?
This was done by Spectrum Coating. They're out of Cocoa, Florida. We're based down in Titusville. These are Type 3 mil-spec hard coat, and we do these in black, tan, green, and brown. This is the FDE, or the tan color, that we offer here. Kind of gives it this tri-color, just inherent based on the percentage of aluminum that's actually being anodized in the receiver set. This other model I have here is a step up from the Typhoon. This is our DS15 Lightning. Similar firearm, but now with the Lightning you get a nickel-plated bolt carrier group, a drop-in single-stage 4-pound trigger, a mid-length stainless 1-in-7 barrel with our competition compensator. The price difference from an MSRP standpoint is an extra $200. It goes from $13.95 to $15.95. Have you want to do these upgrades after you bought a firearm such as the Typhoon, you'd probably be looking $800 to $1,000. So it's a really great value to purchase this at the time of when you make your purchase. So.
All right, this handguard you got on here, or not handguard, sorry, this.
So this is a buffer tube cover.
Buffer tube cover that you guys got here. This is kind of in response to the brace.
Yes, so with the new ATF ruling, they're saying a brace is regulated as a stock now, so very simple fix was to just remove the brace. We're not registering, we're not, you know, giving the ATF anything they actually want.
Doesn't increase any surface area.
No.
As far as the rear end,
no,
the gun.
just slides over the tube, gives you some QD sling
Is there
points.
QDs on both sides?
Both sides, and then what you can see on the back side here. And then these slots here makes it really easy to attach cheek riser or maybe some battery compartment attachments that mount right there to the back.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are you rolling? Benjamin with Grizzly Targets. I'm over here with Jared. We're talking about SR500 steel. It's got an HWB hardness rating of about 590 at the maximum and about 500 to start.
So what will that stop?
It will. The 3/8 is rated technically up to 308. Our 1/2 inch you can shoot at with a 50 BMG from a safe distance. Manufacturer shooting distance, we recommend 25 per pistol and 100 for a rifle. We do have some systems that you can come in from that, come in from the cold on that. But we also have Ramar, which is something that we're using on our new product down here, the Shoot No Shoot. This stuff has a ballistic rating of 44 Magnum. It'll stop without mangling it or denting it. 7.62 will dent it, but it won't penetrate it, which is crazy.
Yeah, that thickness, that's insane.
Yeah,
I was
so
very
it's
surprised to hear that.
2.5 millimeter thick, about an inch and about an 1/8 inch. So it's really crazy. It's lightweight, hard as hell. It's the shit.
Yeah.
We love this. Grizzly is going to be using this a lot for like air guns and then also pistol knockdown, stuff like that. Just to cut back on weight because, you know, steel's great. We love it, but it's heavy as hell.
Right on.
Yep.
Look forward to shooting it.
Absolutely, man.
So this is Cool Fire Trainer. This is a drop-in recoiling barrel for your live weapon, your duty weapon, your competition weapon, or your concealed carry weapon. It allows you to train at home instead of traditional click-rack dry fire training. Your dry fire training is now semi-automatic. So it's a simple field strip, charge it.
Does it work with all handguns or different length barrels or?
I make approximately 160 different models. These are as individual as the barrels in the guns. So let's give it a try, okay?
Yeah.
We've charged it. We're going to shoot these electronic targets. There is no chamber. There is no way to introduce live ammunition. This is perfectly safe to do in your home. For pennies a shot, right here.
So what kind of air you got going on there?
This is CO2. This is out of a standard paintball tank. We also have the option to do the in-home soda maker technology, drink-made, soda stream and such. We build the adapter for either one, and that is part of your kit. You just choose which soda or which CO2 source you're going to use.
Very cool. Thank you. All right, so it comes with a tuned recoil spring and this barrel unit.
Right.
That is not a barrel. That introduces recoil via air pressure. The pressure's in the barrel. Is that where it's
Pressure's
stored?
in the tube, yes.
Or this tube, and then this is the fitting that.
And then that would be your slide lock inhibitor. Goes in the mat.
Oh, very cool.
Great. Has everybody been here before?
First time.
Ah, well, awesome. Welcome to Ox Ridge and DriveTanks.com. We are scouting for giraffes right now. So we have 16 giraffes right now. So a few of them are going to come up to eat. Just so you know, all of the animals here are wild. They live the best life in the world. This is an 18,000 acre ranch. This is a 6,500 acre pasture. The
skull. They're connected to the skull. They're not horns like or antlers like deer or antelope species. And the males use those to fight. That's why he doesn't have the hair on top of those ossicones.
We can't have more than 2 adult males at a time, or they will take each other out. Yeah. And ours do fight.
You'll notice the tails, the hair on the tails of these two is missing. They actually got frostbite during our freeze 2 years ago. But you'll notice the young ones will have their hair so they can. These are white rhinos. It has to do with their mouths, not coloration. They're 4 years old.
Feel free to scratch Killian.
Touch him. They're beautiful. Yeah, Killian's on the right, Sebastian's on the left. They're 4. And they live to be about 50 years old, so they're very young.
And then you're just going to stick it in there.
Yes. Yeah,
There you go.
This piece of wood holds them back.
No, they can walk right through it.
Oh, I was going to say.
If they wanted to.
Give Sebastian a piece because he's going to get jealous.
We actually just moved them from a different little pen to over here, and they love it. It's about, I would say, like,
So make him elevate his mouth, lift up his mouth.
So if they wanted to get out, they could, but they love their little home.
Come up.
A lot of people ask if we shave down their horns. We do not. They're just young, so they're still growing.
Here we
And
go.
it's keratin, not ivory.
There we go.
Misconstrue that.
Get in there.
Just like
Good
fingernails.
boy. This is Sebastian. He's older by 6 months. They have the same
Allison's been
dad.
coming out here for about 20 years. Her dad ran rhinos. Those ones will be in a different pasture. We won't put 12 more in here.
Right here.
Look at that branch. It's like at perfect height. They're just scratching their backs.
I know.
And most of the time when we come up and touch them, like they're not getting fed, so they strictly come up to be pet and loved on.
Yes.
They are like our big leather puppy dogs. Literally, we call them our leather
They
dogs.
roll over on their side so you get their belly.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they love it. They love it.
How often do they get down in the water? Do they get in there?
Yeah. I mean, so they need to keep their skin. This
They'll
is
sunburn,
protecting
won't
their
they?
skin.
Yeah, the mud
Because their
protection.
skin is actually pretty sensitive. It can crack really easily. So we have to actually put like a mud sunscreen type thing on them if they're not
Watch
properly
out for
muddy.
your brother. And they fight like brothers too, so they'll
do.
tussle every once in a while, and everyone's like, they're gonna kill each other. They will not.
Did you get up close to his eye?
Bacon cheeseburger.
Cheese and then bacon cheeseburger.
Bacon cheeseburger. Pepperoni.
Okay, cool. I'll take pepperoni and bacon cheeseburger. Can I try a center bacon cheeseburger and a crust pepperoni?
Jared's back for seconds already.
Yeah. I've been here 3 days. It's the first time I've seen that road. This is the road.